Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday morning class, which I have posted as a class to build strength and resilience. I'm just going to wait a few moments for people to pop on. I know I've had a few messages this morning. I haven't been able to get to all of them because it takes me a little while to set up the props and everything to go with it. So I'll start to see some comments come through, or at least start to see some people that are on. That gives me an indicator that you can either see me or that you can hear me, which gives me an indicator that everyone's starting to very slowly roll on. So I'm going to post a little later on today a bit about the behind the scenes that actually goes on in trying to film, shall we say, these videos. So there's 3 apparatuses that we currently use, the phone, or 2 phones and a laptop, so that we can get it on all different mediums. So it's quite a little bit of setup, and it's very homemade-ish. It's quite cute. So just so that we can get everyone on board, give everyone time, because I don't want to start without making sure that we've got a few little bodies. I'm going to head down towards my mat. So if you've got your mat ready for you and waiting, get yourself sorted for me here. I'm going to take my socks off because it's a little colder this morning. So why did I decide to write this class about building strength and resilience, and what will it entail? Building strength and resilience is something that is very, I guess, quite close to my heart, for the very reason that I am a strong believer, a strong advocate, that if our mind is strong and the body is willing, and the body is strong, then we pretty much can tackle literally anything that gets thrown at us. Probably more so the mind. I think our mind is often our undoing. So when we allow our minds to allow negative thoughts into it, then that can really start to shape our thinking, and it can then also start to shape our behaviour. So one way that we can help to sharpen the mind, as my teacher Gwyn tells me, he says, Les, we've got to get ready and we've got to sharpen our tools. So one of the tools we have is the mind, and we're going to be able to do that through some things like the breath. We're also going to be able to do it with some balance as well. We're going to build a little bit of strength and power in the legs, and when we build this foundation, then I believe that the body will have a very strong constitution, and we'll be able to be pretty much invincible. We'll be able to tackle pretty much everything and anything. You'll sit on your mats to start off with. You're either propped up on your blocks or your bolsters for me in preparation for some breath work. Hands can either rest on the lap or onto the knees, wherever you feel most comfortable. We'll start in a sitting position today because we'll end up in Shavasana, and be prepared for a little bit of energetic kind of work, because that's what we need to do in order to build strength. If you're comfortable, allowing your head to gently drop in order to soften either the gaze or to allow your eyes to close. Just take a moment just to settle in, to check in on how we're going this morning. This is our self-care for Saturday morning. I'm so grateful to see so many of you on joining me, because it's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful way to start your day. It's the most glorious way to give back to your body. So the breath should be slow and steady. You'll start to notice that happens as we bring the breath in and out through the nose. Good. Now I know we're not in the studio and things aren't the same, so we perhaps don't have the same quietness or the same, let's call it isolation, we do in the studio. So there may be little things that crop up. There might be a noise or a bump or a honk of a horn, or someone barging on you as you're doing your yoga. That's okay. These things do happen, and that is life. We have all these little things thrown at us in all different angles. So just acknowledge that perhaps that did happen, and just come back, keep bringing yourself back to breath each time that there might be a distraction or a little speed hump that we go over. Perhaps we might even be able to lengthen or elongate this breath. So see how we go at that. Take a fuller breath in for me here. Know that there's actually 5 lobes in the lungs, and we want to try and breathe into all of them. Right down into the bottom lobes and then up into those upper chambers. And the exhalation is that emptying, and we really want to make sure that we do have that full emptying happening here. Not letting any breath linger or reside in the bottom of those lungs. Breath comes in, fill all 5 chambers or 5 lobes of the lungs. And that full exhalation, breathing out, letting go. Just check in with the breath now. We've got some length to it. Perhaps refine it slightly by checking out its speed. So are we rushing this breath? Are we taking a big gulp in at the beginning and are we letting it all sort of gush out really quickly? Or are we letting the breath be smooth and steady and even? Perhaps we're starting to notice that with the breath, on the inhalation there's this rise and expansion that comes to both our chest and our belly. There may even be this very sort of subtle lift of the shoulders as a result of those collarbones lifting with us. And just notice the opposite on that exhalation. There's this sort of drop of the shoulders. There's a sort of falling back and in of the chest and the belly. So there's some really obvious physical attributes that come to a full breath. Really obvious expansion and contraction. Let's stay here for another 2 breaths. The inhalation bringing life and energy and abundance into the body, and the exhalation, the letting go. This is our chance just to release anything that we really don't want to be holding on to. Any thoughts, any tensions, any tightness. Let it go on your exhale. And when you're ready to allow that soft gaze, just to slowly come back for me here. Don't rush it. Just take your time. And just allow the head perhaps to lift a little. So I notice that we've got a few more people that are on this morning. So welcome, welcome everybody. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining where I am. I hope it's shining on you too. Another day, another beginning, another chance at life again. So let's start by doing a quick opening and releasing of these shoulders. Shoulders come down, all the way up into the ears and around. Maybe you snagged a few little family bodies into class today. It would be so nice to be able to have your whole family come and do yoga with you. Awesome. Up and around the other way. Good. 2 more. Perfect. 1 more. Nice. Alright. A little bit of warmth coming up into that neck, into the shoulders. From shoulder rolls, we're going to I'm going to start us with some practice that we used to do quite a lot in our Zen Tai flow training. It comes from the Chinese tradition of movement, and it's just to start to get a little bit of energy into this upper part of the body. So you hold your hands almost like you've got an imaginary ball here in your belly. So it's like it's an idea of bringing energy up. So this little part here of the belly, which we might call our core, they call the dantian. It's your powerhouse. It's where all of your energy and your life force is. So we start the dantian and we breathe in and we bring this energy. So it's like we're pulling the energy up towards us. Then we turn the palms away and we press with intent the energy away from us. As we inhale, we take that energy up. Good. And as we exhale, we take the energy out, around, behind the back, interlock your fingers, pull the hands down, lift the chest and the sternum. Good. Come back, bring the hands back into dantian, energy comes up. Good. Push, force it out and away. Good. Take it all the way out. Expand the chest. Keep bringing the arms all the way around behind you. Interlock the fingers. Press the chest forward, lift the sternum. Good. There's a nice stretch there from belly right up to that, the base of that mouth. The chest, bringing in energy up, bringing it out. Exhale, press it away. Good. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, out, around. Nice. Hands behind the back, interlock, chest presses forward. Good. Bring the hands back into the heart center. From here we work it's called lotus opening, and it's a little bit of fun with the hands. They start to come up into the chest. Okay. And then the palms then go together, and then they unfold like a lotus. Okay. And then they come back down, and they flip. Good. And they go again. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring them back down. Good. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, bring them down. Okay. So I'm keeping my little fingers together here. Good. I'm keeping my little fingers together. Perfect. One more. Nice. That's our very last one. Take eagle arms. Don't worry what arm wraps around which first. We always even it up here. Find that expansiveness that we can bring to the back. So shoulder blades draw apart. Elbows are about the same height as your shoulders. You can see that it's sort of blocking my view. But if I've got my hands down here, then there's very little stretch into the back, into the rhomboid. So elevate the elbows and create that width from across the shoulder blades here. Perhaps you can expand it a little further with your own opportunity to widen shoulder blades. Bring the arms all the way back down. Switch the arms, so wrap twice if you can. Don't worry if you can't get to that to the hand. Maybe you can get to the wrist, or you can just give it that double twist. So again, elevation of arms, shoulder blades separate, wide back. And that's where we want to send those breaths. So can we have some really big, full, deep breaths filtering into the back of those lungs? Ease the arms back down, unwrap the arms. And the last thing we're going to do is what we call percussion or some battening. And that's just to start to stimulate the heart and to start to warm up through these upper channels of the body. So this little pinky all the way down through the side here is the heart meridian. And what I'm teaching us today is a little bit of we call it the fire element, so it's a fire element flow. So you're going to, like you're tapping, like you're knocking on a door, from the little finger down to the side and down this whole channel through here and then all the way back again. And it's just to wake up the chi, the energy that sits in this area for the heart. Heart meridian. We're just going to do 4 of these. So it's like a little tap, Doesn't have to be anything fancy, you don't have to be an expert at it. We're all learning. Good, tap, 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 tap. Get ready to head it over to the other side, and that nice little tap, like knocking on the door. Knock, 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 knock. And then knock it back down. Good. Chinese medicine believes strongly about stagnant energy and how energy can get stuck in certain areas. So yesterday I looked at the lung, I should say the lung and the large intestine. Again, two bigger areas that we really need to look after at the moment. We need to look after the respiratory system. We all know that that's getting compromised at the moment. We also need to look after our gut, because our gut and our brain connected. Okay, awesome. We're done with all that action here. Come forming onto all fours. This is going to send us into a cat-cow, whichever way that feels comfortable for you to come off either your props and head back onto all fours onto your mat. Hands will sit directly underneath our shoulders and our knees will be here underneath our hips. Cats on your exhale, so it'll go chin to chest and we'll round to the back. And it's on the inhale that we send that movement in the other direction. Perfect, in your own time. And this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You might find that you want to sort of tip forward a little bit, or on your cat you want to round back a little bit, or that you want to maybe sway here, even side to side. Again, check in on your body and see what it wants you to do. Okay, cat-cow is really to move the spine. Okay, it's to flex and it's to extend the spine, and it doesn't have to be, as we might always think, that textbook version. Okay, so it's an awakening, really. It's an articulation of the spine, and it's an awakening of the spine. Spine's a powerful conduit for obviously our nervous system. So it is very, very important to keep the spine in good condition, well looked after, like you would look after. I mentioned yesterday how we would look after our car. We need to service it. If we expect it to get us from A to B, then we need to also think of that same aspect when we look about and we talk about our bodies. Okay. From cat-cow, or any of your little creative versions of that, and if we've got the kids on board here, I'm sure they've found some very creative ways of doing this movement. Let's go with a bit of work into the cauldron, into the belly. And I'm going to start us off by very subtly lifting the left hand. Okay, so you might come up onto the tips of your fingers first, little mangrove fingers, and you might even be able to go to this hands off. Now, any of my Pilates people will know that this is core work, and we're very much about watching what happens incorrectly. E.g., I start to take my right hand off and I decide that I'm going to lean over onto my left hand side to compensate. So let's see how still we can make the trunk with this action. In fact, it is a Pilates movement. We call it paws, because these are like little cat's paws. They're lifting up and lifting down. But the idea here is to engage that belly just like you would for plank. Okay, same idea. Navel pulling into the spine, not loading down into the opposite hand, but just starting to fire up the belly a little bit more. So opposite hand. Now what we want to start to maybe introduce, if we then feel comfortable, is what we then know as that opposite arm and the opposite leg. If that feels like you can take it that little bit further, rather than taking hands straight up, let's go with the right hand and release it out in front. Good. And we'll bring the right hand back on and we'll do the left. Okay, so you'll notice it's slightly different as we extend the arm out, as opposed to just very subtly lifting the arm like a paw off the mat. We'll do one more on the left side, and that's when we'll start to add in, when we go back to our right side, can we add an arm and a leg now? You know this one, opposite arm and leg. Okay, opposite arm and leg. Knees stacking directly underneath the hips. Hands staying directly underneath our shoulders. Good. Let's go one more on each leg. So one more with that right arm, left leg. Right arm, left leg. And when we get back to the right arm and the left leg, we're going to take a heel to bottom. Can we balance a little bit more and connect into this heel to bottom action? Do we need to perhaps drop it to the floor? Start off with where it feels comfortable here. Hold the heel into the bottom. Try not to load down through our hand, our left hand. Lift out of that left armpit and stay strong and balanced here. Good. Extend the arm and the leg back out long. This time, can we pull the elbow into the knee? Okay. And really start to challenge this core a little bit more. Now, again, don't worry if you can't. For example, we could just do the elbow to the knee, okay, and leave the knee on the floor. So we just find where our boundaries are and know what our own personal limitations will be and work with them. Good. That's our last one. Get ready to change to the other side. So we would have left arm and the right leg working here for us. Left arm, right leg. That's our start of our balance. Now let's say I can't have that leg out the back. I might just tap it towards the floor, and that's perfectly okay. Try the heel in the bottom again, so heel comes around. We take it with, it is the opposite hand holding the opposite leg. This thigh out the back, my right thigh is trying to sit about parallel to the floor, so I can really feel that quadricep stretching here. Really getting that warmth into it for some of our leg work that we will do. Now we'll extend them back out long again, and this is where we pull the elbow on a diagonal in towards the knee. So, starting to warm and activate the obliques now. Opposite arm, pulling in to the knee. Good. Opposite arm, pulling into the knee. Nice. Can we get another two out? Let's see how we go. Remember your modifications. Beautiful. And when we finish that very last one, both hands rest back onto the floor and start to bring yourself very slowly for me here up into this kneeling position. Okay. We're going to tuck the toes under and take the the left arm up towards the ceiling and bring it out the back and look at it. And it's like going to make a big circle. And then the right arm goes up, out, around in a big circle, and it comes back. Now some people might need some padding underneath those knees. That's okay. Go and grab something extra or roll your mat up even. So these are big circles. It's almost like you're doing backstroke. Yeah. So you're like you're swimming and you're doing a backstroke action. Go up and over. But if we can, maybe that next one takes us into a half camel. It comes across and it touches this heel. Take the other arm upwards towards the ceiling. Good. Windmill the arms. Try the same on the other side. Arm comes up, over, around. Can we catch the heel? Can we extend the arm up and back? You can look either down here at this heel or up here towards the left arm that's up there in the ceiling. Good. As we lift up, keep reaching back with the other arm. So it's literally like you are doing that backstroke movement. Good. Arm comes up and over. Good. Change sides up and over. Good. Let's go one more. Up and over. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Let's step through on the right leg. It comes into a nice low lunge, like a low crescent lunge. Here we can either have our fingers on the floor, or if we need a little bit of support, we might even bring those blocks in. Okay, so it's a kneeling low crescent lunge. Take the same hand as the leg, that right hand rested onto the knee. And extend the left arm upwards towards the ceiling now. Breathe out, tip it over to your right hand side. Feel the side stretch all the way down that left hand side. Breathe in, extend the left arm back to the ceiling, add the right arm, extend back for me now. This little tipping back action. Good. Breathe out to bring the hands back down towards the mat for me from here. And then just hinge back. Now we know this is, it's called Hanuman, but it's like it's basically like a little mini hamstring stretch. Definitely have the toes pulling back, either fingertips as little mangroves or onto your blocks. Draw this right hip back, okay, back towards the back end of your mat here. Good. And then inhale, come back up. Trunk becomes straight. Now we're going to spin on this left knee here, and that leg will extend out, your right leg will extend out towards the side. Take the same arm as the leg, tip it down towards it, extend the left arm over into the ear and open up through this chest. Good. Release it the other way, hand goes down to the floor like a side plank. Extend now the right arm up towards the ceiling, lifting our left side away from the floor, so my left belly and my left side ribs are pulling away from the floor here. Tuck this top arm under, thread it underneath, and then open back up as you inhale. So thread and tuck on your exhale, and then open up as you inhale. Good. Thread and tuck. Inhale and open. Good. And again, thread. And inhale to open. This right hand is going to head down towards the floor. Reposition your hands so that they are shoulder width apart. Can we spin and pivot and head ourselves back into a down facing dog? You can be assured that you are right if you are facing the completely opposite way to how you were before. You're right, you got it. Okay, so you might want to walk the heels out a little bit. So our walking dog, heels lift, heels lower, heels lift, heels lower. Okay, and we're looking at either the knees or the shin bones. I say that as opposed to looking at our hands. So like a little paddle out, a little walk out of these legs here. Heel lifts, heel lowers, heel lifts, heel lowers. Good. Perfect. Both heels equally weight down towards the floor. Yesterday I talked about those jam jar arms. Here that means that your hands are trying to turn or open up some jars. They turn inwards, but these outer arms turn outwards. So these upper arms are turning outwards. Hands turn inwards, outer arms tuck back into the body. Your upper arm and your lower arms are doing opposite movements. One's internally rotating, one's externally rotating. Okay, feel the power and the strength that you create when you do that to your arms. Okay, now if you get tired, that same action is exactly the same down here on your knees. Okay, absolutely no different whatsoever. Okay, take this then to your knees. Get ready to then come up into a full kneeling. And we're going to head over and work on the other leg. So stepping through for me now on the other side. So that should be your right side for me here. Left, I should say. Low lunge here. A little bit of a subtle hip flexor stretch as we settle into it. Gently pulling this right thigh forward. Good. Coming back up so that we can let the elbow rest on. So left arm onto left leg, right arm heading up towards the ceiling. Tip over to the other side now. So that nice side lateral bend. Good. Inhale, come back up, add the second arm, extend it back. Good. Breathing out, fingertips to the mat or to your blocks and into Hanuman, the hamstring stretch. Pull back that big toe. Draw this left hip back to the back end of your mat. and soften. Soften into that hamstring. Good. Breathing in, bend into the knee, lift the chest. Let's take that spin around. So I have a long left leg, my right leg to my short leg. We tip and we run the arm down the inside of the leg, in with that idea of it being a lateral bend, so the side body opens and it stretches here. Good. And whenever we have an openness to the body, it's a perfect opportunity to breathe into it. So can we breathe into this right side rib cage? And then coming out of it, the hand will go to the floor. A variation on side plank. Ready for that tuck under, thread, and then open up on the inhale. Good. Breathe out. And then breathing in. Good. Exhale, thread. Inhale for the opening. Good. One last time, threading. Inhale, opening. As we prepare for plank, hands come back around underneath those shoulders. Stay in that plank pose or your variation. So remember, if that's your knees, hang out there in those knees from here. Both armpits pull away from the floor, okay, so that we haven't dropped into those shoulders. The difference between sunken shoulders and wide, broad shoulders. Engage more deeply into that core, pull up and into the belly. This is going down to the floor, so choose your options as to how you might lower down. Curl it then into a cobra on your inhale. Good. Come down halfway, breathe out. Bring your hands around behind your bottom. Interlock your fingers here. Okay, lift the chest. This is called locust pose. Bring your legs together. This time, yes, you can add that leg lift. And let's beat the heels together here. Chest stays lifted. Breathing stays smooth and steady. Heels are tapping. So now we've got that power and we're building strength in our back body. Shoulder blades are squeezing together, so our back muscles are working. Butt's on and hammies are on. Okay, lumbar is on. So pretty much the whole of our back body has to work when we lift up into locust. Good. Breathe out. Soften the hands. Let those toenails go back to the floor. Push up onto hands and knees now. Take a quick moment just to take rest into child's pose. So I talked about resilience and building strength in order to have resilience, but we also need focus. Okay, so the mind has to be sharp and our attention has to be fully present. Hence, we're going to do some balance poses. Let's start in, this is called Malasana. Now, if the Achilles are a little tight, it will be challenging to get those heels all the way down to the floor. Just go where you feel comfortable. So if it means you still need to be up onto the tiptoes, that's where you're at. Okay, again, we know that there is no force when there's no strain. There's work, but there's no force. You might like to open the legs a little bit more. Let these arms come into the legs to press them open. Bring your hands to prayer position. Allow the weight and that spaciousness in your lower back sit into this pose. So it's a really beautiful way of releasing into the lumbar, no matter what variation that you've chosen. Okay. Now you could stay here into this Malasana, or you could go into, sometimes I'll call it the rice picker pose, or crow, or crane. It's got lots of different names. That's the balance. Let me build us into it, because not everyone will be able to go to the full range. And again, this is why we did a little bit of core work earlier on in that opposite arm and leg movement, is that we bring our weight forward and we come up onto the balls of the feet, and then we might rock back. That might be it for us. Okay, so it's that rock forward, tip toes, get a bit of a gist of it, see how it's going. It might be coming up and thinking, you know what, I can give one foot a go. And that's where I'm at with this. Because it's all about building the foundations. Okay, It's not going to happen overnight, but if you were to practice this regularly, you definitely build strength. So then you might go, okay, I can go the one, okay, once I've got that one, wow, can I get the second one? How can I balance? Do I need to come out when my arms perhaps or my upper body is starting to strain? Try a couple of them. Okay, see how you go. Now I know some people, there's a little bit of a fear factor that sits into this. Does it make life any less fearful if I have a soft cushioning here in front? Okay. It may not. So we're gluing the legs into the arms, we're pulling up tight into that belly, we're resting when we need to, and we might have one or two more goes at it. Some people I know even just have this and literally will come and they'll start and they'll try and rest their heads on it. Again, find a method or a practice that feels right for you. What I also notice with this one is it can also be indicative of your leggings. Okay, so if you've got really slippery pants, I find that flesh on flesh is so much easier. When I have shorter leggings on, this is so much easier because I don't have to worry about the grip so much of slipping off here. But what you can notice with that pose, definite heart rate elevation. I can feel it even in myself, how there's so much energy involved in picking up both those legs, even from my core, but also this power and strength that we create in the upper body. Come and take a moment to fully stand. Drop the heels slowly, unravel the spine gradually for me here. Come up to standing. Perhaps bring yourself a little closer towards the front part of your mat. We're going to bring the hands bring the hands together here. This way. Okay. Inhale, we're going to unravel them and take them up. So I'll take it this way for you here, so you can see. Yeah. And then back down. Good. Bring them up. And bring them back down. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale. One last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, fold all the way back over. Standing Tadasana. Bring the hands in to lock them around behind the bottom. Flip them all the way over the back. So it's like a standing version of what we did in our seated warm-up. Heels anchored down to the floor, sit bones lift upwards towards the ceiling. Good loose neck. Breathe out, bring your hands back down to the floor. Step back on your left leg to down facing dog. Your right leg will be there to follow you. Widen the feet hip distance. We talked about those jam jar hands, recreate them. Start to feel the strength in your arms. Okay, building strength. Contract those arm muscles. Don't rely on the wrists. Shoulder blades slide down the back. Heels anchor down to the floor. Sit bones find to the ceiling. And we hang in here for a few breaths. One more. Take the right leg back into three-legged down dog. Bring this knee into your chest, look forward to your hands. Step here. Very slowly plant the back foot. Pull it up to warrior number one. Good. We're going to do a few in this warrior position. If it doesn't feel so comfortable having this back heel down onto the floor, come into the heel up. Okay, if you find it gives you a nicer place for your alignment, shoulders and hips. From warrior one, bring the palms of the hands together, the forearms also together. Lift them up and tip it back. Try and keep those elbows squeezing together. So it's almost like a dancing warrior, but we're not tipping back into that leg. Breathe out, bring the arms back. Okay, same idea with these arms, but open them out and they look like cactus arms. And they look like this. Wide cactus arms. Cactus arms. Now we'll go into that dancing warrior. Take the left hand onto the back of the thigh, extend the other arm up and tip it back now. Good. If the legs start to get heavy and tight, that's all right. You can switch them a little bit later. Remember, we're here to build strength and to build resistance. Good. Come back and face the front of your mat, interlock your fingers like we did in Tadasana. This is called Humble Warrior. We are going to plant the back foot, it'll give us more stability. My chest is going to come through this front thigh, tipping the arms over the back of us here. Okay, Humble Warrior. Let's really come back on the inhale up, return back to the hands together, elbows together. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. Good. Exhale, elbows square. Inhale, open to cactus. Good. Exhale, come back to that warrior one position, long arms. Dancing warrior, back hand on. Extend us back. Good. Plant the back foot, interlock the fingers. Find your humble warrior. Tip it over. Good. Frame the front foot with your two hands. Step back to down dog. You can either rest in down dog or child's, or come with me on a little flow. Plank, plank lower into your cobra. Good. Or your up dog. Okay. How much strength and energy do you want to start to use now? Exhale back into your down facing dog. Perfect. Left side. Up we go. Three-legged down dog, knee to chest, look where those hands are. Step it there. Press or power down through that front foot. We're in that lunge, warrior one. Bring palms together, bring elbows together. Tip this one back. Okay, watch that balance. Where's your focus? Okay, remember, sharpen the tools. Sharpen your focus and your attention. Good. Back in front. Find those cactus arms. Open up. Back to arms to roof. Dancing warrior. Right hand comes around. Tip it back. Perfect. Inhale back to warrior one. Plant that back foot. Where's those hands? Behind the back. Interlock them. Find humble warrior. Drop your chest. Flip the arms over. Good. Hands frame the foot. We're going to do it twice, but I'm going to give us a little bit now, so we're going to speed it up a little. Okay. Where's the strength? Where's our focus? Where's our breath? Okay, we're building resilience. Here's your plank if you want it, otherwise rest it out. Plank lowers. Do you want a cobra or an up dog here? Then we all find down dog as we prep it for one more round. Left lifts, left comes in. Left softly steps forward, power through that front foot. Up we come to lunge warrior one. Then we find those hands and the forearms coming together. Good. Then we tip it back. Inhale. Good. Breathe out back to square. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale back to warrior one. Inhale, dancing warrior. Right hand out back. Keep that focus. Okay, remember. Sharpen those tools. Good. Breathe in, back to your warrior one. Plant that back foot, interlock those fingers. Off we go, humble warrior. Drop it, flip it. Awesome. Hands either side, frame that foot. Get ready, one plank or a down dog. Hang out there wherever you want to go. Plank lowers, your choice. Cobra or an up dog. Then we're back into down dog. Good. Some people might want to rest. That's okay. Find your breath. Take the right leg to lead again. Bring your knee in. Step through and stay here. Okay. This is what we call a revolved lunge. Okay, so it's not our traditional lunge, it's the opposite one. So we go. In this instance, left hand on the floor, right arm opens up. Good. Breathe out. Hand returns back to the floor. Okay, I've got a little tricky number for you here. Okay. The feet are going to step together. Okay, you're going to stay in a low squat. Your two hands are going to go to the outside. So you're going to squat down for me. On the outside of this right leg. And we're going to drop into a side crow. So you did the front crow. Okay, let me jump on my side to show you. Hands come out to the side. You lean in And that might be it. This arm is pressing into that leg, so we're leaning in. We're engaging that core. Maybe that's it. A couple of those to the sides. If not, hang in there, balance. One leg, two legs. Ooh. See how we go. Press. Hold it. Good. Drop it back down. Come back onto that mat. Hands back onto the floor. Find your down dog again. Good. Have a little flow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, head it back down. Nice. Let's try this on the other leg. So it should be left leg lifting, left knee to chest, left steps forward. Reverse the lunge, revolving lunge. Should be that left arm going up and the right arm's going down. Good. Two hands frame the front foot. Step together into your squat. Get those hands over to the other side. Yeah. Good. When you're ready, weight goes over. Lift on up. I'll jump over to this other side for you because I haven't done my other side. Balance and hold. Good. Rest. Nice work. Knees on. Shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake with those hands. Feel the strength in the arms. Feel that heart rate begin to elevate. Good. Alrighty, we're back. Hands back onto that floor. Find your down dog for me here. Walk those feet out. We've got another little vinyasa that I want us to do just before we end up because we've got to do that last little bit of balance here. Let's go back and find the right leg leading. Inhale, exhale, knee to chest. Step forward for me here. Good. Go into your normal revolve side angle pose where the same arm and the same leg are on the floor here. So here I have my right arm and my right leg on the floor. And then I'm going to wrap that arm, that top arm around behind my back. If you go into a bind, then this arm tucks under. Okay. We've done this before. It's called the bird of paradise. It gets you to stand. It's a little bit anti-fancy, but we'll see how we go. Pivot onto the back foot. That guy's got to step in a few times to meet the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to press through my left leg and I'm going to raise up, pulling my right leg with me. Alrighty, remember the focus and remember how we're building strength and resilience. Keep your tools sharpened. Keep your gaze and your focus sharpened. Good. When you release, you'll find eagle. Okay. That right leg wraps around the left. Good. Square those hips back up. Nice. If you need to, give a little tap on the floor. You don't have to do the full wrap. Arms. Same arm. Wrap, lift, widen. Okay. If with gazes and focus is 100%, maybe we can tip the beak of the eagle down. Inhale. There's that strength to bring us up. Power through that leg. Release the feet. Find easy chair. Take your squat. Press palms together, elbows in line with the wrists. Feel the inner force of those legs gluing into one another. Release only the hands around behind the back. Pull them down. We've done a lot of this morning. Chest is wide, back is strong. Chest to thigh, flip it. Good. Breathe in, back to hands onto the floor. Step back, that right leg. Then the left. Can you give me another little flow? If not, hang out there into your down dog or your child's. Into down dog as we finish. We'll lead on the other side. Left lifts, knee to chest. Come and step through. Good. Plant the back foot. Left hand, left leg, right arm opens us up. Either look up or keep the gaze down at the floor. Here's your bind. Arm around, arm through. And then are we ready to find that bird of paradise? Step the back leg in. Good. It's equal to the other leg, okay, so that you've got that stacking of the joints. Press through the solid leg on the floor. Come on up. Good. Again, when that gaze is still and your focus is 300%, let go. Here is your eagle. Perfect. left arm goes around. Don't lose your mojo. Yeah? Sharpen your focus. Tip elbows to knee. Bring it on up. There's your inhale. 2 feet are on. Easy chair. Here's your rest. Glue those legs together for me. Press the palms firmly. Elbows the same height as those wrists. Can we find tiptoes in this one? Let's see. Balls of the feet. Press them down. Be strong through the inner thigh. That's your foundation. I talked about how making our foundation or our constitution really strong. If we want to be resilient, we want to be able to weather the storm. We need to have a really sturdy boat or a really sturdy body. Lower the heels. Interlock the fingers, don't lose these legs. Tip the chest to the thigh, flip it on over. Get inhale hands to frame those feet. Step back the left leg, then your right leg either hang out here or in child's. We're going to go again into that little flow. Cobra or up dog, depends on how we're feeling. Good. Drop the knees, drop the forearms. It's a forearm dog. It's a dolphin. Okay. And what we want to work through here is a bit of power now, that last little bit of power and strength through the upper body. Okay. So toes tuck under. Here we go. Into that dolphin pose. Head between those elbows. Good. Heels are down, hips are up. Good. Can we convert this into forearm plank by walking the heels away? Or does that need to be a knee version? All good. It's all good. Wherever it might be. It's belly up and in either way. And the gaze is always down here between these forearms. Okay, you want soft neck. Hips high. Go walk into the elbows again. Off we go. Nice and high with those hips. Look down there at the shins. Good. Walk it back out. Pivot over those elbows. Draw up and in that belly. Try it on your knees if we need to. Let's make this one last forearm side plank. Can we open up that arm? Awesome. Yeah. Good. Let's go the other side. Forearm, flip it. Open it up. Good. Back to forearms. Into that forearm plank. Hang in there. Let's go 3 more breaths if we can. Whatever version we chose. Good. Ease it down to the ground. Okay. Rhomboid stretch. It's like you're hugging yourself. One arm comes underneath, but the other one's got to do the same as well. Okay, so I've got my 2 arms crossed here. Good. Wriggle up and lie over. So it's like eagle arms if you think about it in a way. And I'm just getting this openness and this release to my chest. So if you think, you know what, I might need my trusty old block here for my head to rest on, then I could. Or my bolster. But you might notice it's stronger in one arm than the other. Might be a little bit stronger in the arm that you have directly in front. Good. Let's switch the arms, untangle, and off we go other side. Do the same. So we did do a little bit of work in that upper body. Okay, we asked those shoulders and those arms to really play out for us and to really step up and show us what they're really made of. And here we get to open it all up and we get to stretch it out. Good. Ease it off. Wriggle those arms out from here. Open up through the pecs now. Lie all the way down. Bring your left arm out to the side of you. Have your right hand by your chest. Bend your right knee. Using your right hand, push off that floor and open up. we switch it over to the other side, we do that little roll. And now it should be our right arm coming out to our side, our left arm tucks in, and off we go. We tip it over to the side here. This is also nice, opening back up through these legs as well for us, as this lovely pec, that nice little pec stretch. Release and bring it slowly back down. Bring hands to chest, push up, find your way back to child's pose here. Walk the two hands around towards your left hand side. Keep yourself still active on your heels. Come back through to the center and find your way over to the other side. Again, making sure that we don't lift up off this left heel. Perfect. Come back to center, everyone. Press the mat away from you. Sit a little deeper back into those heels. We'll take our tricep stretch by bringing our palms together, bending the elbows, sending these hands overhead. Walk the tips of the elbows out in front. And then breathing in, bringing the arms back down by the side, letting the chest come slowly and lift up off the thighs here. We will start to prepare for Shavasana, for relaxation. If you have your bolster with you, you have your eye pillow with you, or you maybe need a blanket, prepare to begin to wind down. Get whatever resources that you need. I'm going to get my little notepad. I've written and found a gorgeous verse this week to read us. You lie down into Shavasana, I'll sit here and sit, but if you want to sit seated with me, feel absolutely welcome. This is your reset. Okay. This is your recalibration. This is what you worked so hard in class for. And it's when we truly stop, it's when we literally press that pause button, that the body then gets that opportunity to truly relax. Come back and reconnect into your breath. Follow it perhaps as it comes in through the nose, down the back of the throat, and how it fills those lungs. Empty, empty, empty. We breathe in all the goodness of the morning. And we breathe out absolutely anything we no longer need to hold on to. Feel that big rush of release on the exhale. Keep that slow, rhythmical steadiness to your breath. was a verse. Anything that annoys you is for teaching you patience. Anyone who abandons you is for teaching you how to stand up on your own 2 feet. Anything that angers you is for teaching you forgiveness and compassion. Anything that has power over you is for teaching you how to take your power back. Anything you hate is for teaching you unconditional love. Anything you fear is for teaching you courage to overcome your fears. And anything that you can't control is for teaching you how to let go. As you take the next 3 breaths, use those breaths to bring your awareness back to this world we're about to walk back out and into. Emphasize that exhalation, that release, that letting go. Remember that anything that you can't control is there to teach us how to let go. And then just finding your own way back onto your side. No rush. Taking our time. Continue when you're ready. Find yourself into sitting. When you do come up into sitting, you get to meet again our hands in prayer. And this is how we honour both ourselves. Giving ourselves the opportunity to practice. It's an absolute gift to have this practice in our toolbox. Trust me, it'll serve us and it'll keep us being strong and being resilient in times where we're going to be absolutely challenged. Shall we seal class together with Namaste? Namaste. So there was Saturday morning yoga. Thank you everyone for joining me this morning. I'm sure you've got plenty planned. I usually always say to my Saturday morning people, I suppose it's now time to go home and do all the chores. It always makes doing the chores so much nicer when you've had a beautiful practice and you think, you know what, tick, I've done something for myself today. So important to look after yourself, everyone. So important to have that self-care, be it going for a walk, being it coming back into this space, come back and look at all of the yoga videos that have been downloaded into this page. By the end of this month, I think there's something like 30 something yoga practices that you'll have that you can just scroll through. Same with the meditation. So there's going to be 5 yoga classes live a week. And when I need to clarify that, because a lot of people say, no, I don't know if I can make them live. I don't know if I'll be able to be there on time. That doesn't matter. These videos sit on this page forever. Okay, so whilst you're still actively paying your membership, your $70 a month, you still have access to all of these videos. Okay, so don't worry if you miss one or you jump in late, you'll always be able to come back on a rewind and find them anywhere in the page. Just go and search under the video section if you're not sure where they are. They'll all be banked in there. It'll be, as I said, up to 30 by the end of it. Go and have yourself an awesome Saturday. Sunday is a day of rest, no classes, no work, but back on the tools on Monday. So enjoy your beautiful days off, everyone, and I will see you on Monday for meditation. Yeah, 7 o'clock meditation. What a beautiful way to start the week for you. Go and enjoy. Love to you all.